Hello, good evening and welcome. Happy Wednesday. So 9 o'clock on a Wednesday and 8 o'clock on a Sunday, you'll find me here. Today I think I'm going to try one of the sketches and I'm going to use the Autumn Winter Catalogue book. So let me get you down onto the table here and see what we're going to share with you tonight. Oh, that's just telling me I'm in the right place. There we go. So I'll bring you in a little bit closer. Oops, did I? Oh, yes, that's about right. I've got the signal, it's saying a CPU load. It's just flashing around a little bit up there. We'll just watch that. Anyway, the September to December Christmas catalogue. Obviously, we're well halfway through now, I think. And these page 16. Oh, yeah, 16. Hi, Marilyn. We have some sketch challenges. Now, I love this when they introduce these in the annual catalogue. Just try and find a page in the front here where these ones were. If I can find it quickly. They really are useful to do. And now and again, I like to throw a sketch challenge in just to kind of show you how they can pan out. So on the annual catalogue, they are on page 22. I've actually numbered mine along here because I thought, right, okay, they'll just make it easier just to work through the numbers. But these sketches in both catalogues, they can be used however you like. It's just an idea. There's no guide on colours, on shapes, anything. Well, it's just shapes, but you don't have to stick to the shapes. So I like to do a sketch challenge now and again. Some I've made up myself over the years. Some are just loads of on the internet as well. But just pick a design that you like the layout of. I asked hubby to put an input today. I said, which one do you think I should do? And he didn't choose the one I did. He chose one that I thought was a little bit basic. So I'm not doing that one. So I won. So tonight we're going to play with, I'm just going to bring the graphic up for you to see. Oh, not that one. There we go. So that's this bottom line in the catalogue. So I thought I'd start with that one. Hi Lynn, Angela, Linda, Anne, down under. Lovely, you could join me. So yeah, the sketch challenge. I'm going to do the one on the right hand side there. It's the bottom row on the catalogue. So I'm just going to pop you back to me again. So this is one down this row here. I just cut and pasted just a little bit off the online catalogue and I thought I'd like this one. If there's any of you, if we get time to do a second one, you'll just have to grab your catalogue page 16 and tell me which one you might fancy doing. So the next decision is we've got a couple of these out on the table. I have the ones we used the other night as well. I have the Trucking Along. So I need a vote as to what you would like me to play with. It's going to be the gold and silver papers again. I love these. They're absolutely gorgeous. And I've just got some more arrive. And I think I've got some more on the way here on the next order as well. So these papers are gorgeous. I am getting through this one, sadly. I don't think I've got much of that one left until the others arrive. But they're really lovely papers. So I'm going to be using the greens and the gold. So put some decisions up as to what you'd like. You want trees, so we've got one for trees. That's Anne. She's probably our furthest visitor this evening. Don't test me on the American geography, please don't. But Anne's certainly New Zealand, so she's down under. So I do love these, and I have got some already pre-cut. So I think we've used all of them recently. So trees, that's 2 trees. There we go. We definitely got trees. So let's go with these ones. So as always, in the box here, I've got the stamps at the back. They've all gone away, so they're all sitting in there ready to use. I put mine on the magnet sheets, and I like to put with a Dymo pen, I like to put in the corner how many there are. Then when I put them away, every time, religiously, I count them in. I have currently got one die missing that's on the table somewhere. So from the other night, it's one of the corner ones with the that we used for the tree the other day, the truck the other day. So I'm looking for that at the moment, but I do count them in before I put them back on the shelf so that I know if I've got anything missing. So we will play with those tonight, so I'll leave that open. I have also got the greetings of the season. They have got tags in, which I did wonder about using these tags on there somehow. So if you want me to come back and use those, then we'll see. Just shout out to me. So we've got those going on. And then in the front of that packet, I always have the bits that I've cut to play with on other projects. They were the little candle holders I made out of the hanger. These were some sentiments. So we've got some sentiments already embossed. If I'm doing heat embossing, I tend to do a chunk of them. That was unanimous on the trees. Well done, ladies. So yeah, if I'm doing heat embossing and I've got the heat gun out and the powders and the Versamark and everything else, I tend to do a few and leave them in the box with that set, so that if I'm short of time another time, I can just, oh, well, let's just use those ones. And I've got some different coloured ones. I've got some green ones as well in there. So let's see how we go. So we have the shape. I've just put the catalogue and hidden it. So let's just put that in front of me so I can actually see which one I'm doing. So we're ready to go. Hi Pam, nice to see you. I'll see you tomorrow as well in person. We can either do texture on the back, or we can do one of the papers. So we've got some really lovely papers in here. I have got some cream out for a layer, and I've got Mossy Meadow cardstock out. But also, I wondered if you would have used, we haven't used this one much, the basic beige. This one kind of works nicely with this paper because it's kind of, with the gold in there, it's looking nearer a cream, a beigey colour, than it is the white. However, if you use this one, it's more of a white. So, I mean, I've got vanilla out here, but I kind of think that either of these would go with those. And then these ones, on the reverse of these, they've all got cream. So, well, mostly cream, sorry, mostly. We haven't done a bright and shiny one recently, have we? So that one's got gold, white background, but it's got the gold on there. So I'm wondering, shall we do, that's some ferns. That would look nice on the Mossy Meadow, wouldn't it? Shall we use this one of these sides? Okay, so the decisions is either of those two. That's all the same, I think. That one's a different one. So we've got 3 different designs there. So we choose one of those 3, I think. Let's get the rest out of the way. Always good to make decision points by discarding and then narrowing it down. So that's always good. I'll reject that one for now, the basic beige, and we'll have a Mossy Meadow base. So let's get those out, and then you're deciding which gold one to use. So I'm going to make this base card. I'm going to do the pear like I normally do. I want to take a whole new sheet. I'm going to put it halfway on 10.5, score down the middle, and then we turn it halfway this way. And you know, I've got my little dots on here. I need to refresh these actually. That one's not too bad. This one's hardly readable. So I will grab my glasses. Oh, if they're on the other side of the table. Just a sec. Oops, nearly missed the chair. That would have been a noise. So I'm just going to put this on the 10.5. Obviously my USA friends in the Imperial, just work out your half one. You like the leaf one, and oh, the top one. Ah, okay. 2. So Pam's the middle one, Lynn's the top one. So we've got 2 votes for this one, I think, at the moment. So we might be going with that one. It is nice and bold, isn't it? Haven't used that one yet. So this is the halfway point. So my 2 halfway for the A4, one's that way and one's that way. Just makes it quicker when you, save you having to look it up each time. So cut that in half for now, pop that to one side. And I'm going to score these, so the bump side inwards. I have buried my bone folder. There we go. So just watch those edges and make sure they're lined up nicely, nice and even. Bone fold along there. So that's one that can go to the side for now, and we'll use this one. Like if you cut first and then you score, you've actually got to score 2 different pieces of card and line them up. Whereas if you do it that way, you just get the one. Saves a little bit of time. And if not, you know, I put them in the back of my packet, so next time I've got them ready cut. So the leaf one. Okay. Sorry, Lynn, you're outnumbered. We can look at that next time you're here. So we're going to cut this one. The sketch on here, if you remember, it's got some panels in there. Now I think this on our card, if we did this as a panel, I'm going to show you the different ways. So this one I'm thinking of just leaving a tiny border, and then we put the other elements on top. So let's just do this at 10.2, just over the what I normally do. And then this one will be the 14.5. So we've got a tiny little green border around the outside. The little scraps always stay on the table. They always get used. So is there a right and wrong way on this? This is where we go to next. So we can look at that and say, I don't really think there is. You'll get a natural eye. I don't know why, but that one just looks nicer to me. So I'm going to leave that one as the base. We might decide that that's going to be too bright. Okay, and we'll go down to the next layer. So this one we won't use the back because that's just a mottled effect, and that would be too boring unless if you wanted to do that. I'm just going to show you what it would look like. If you wanted to use the back side, you could actually use this one. That would be that way on, wouldn't it, as your top card? And you could do it on some vanilla card and then have this as your layer. But I think this is too boring, so that's much nicer. So if we had that as that layer there, I like to work them all out first before I stick them down. So that could be our layer. I'll just leave that in camera view there. Oh, get that piece of scrap out of the way. So for the next layer, what are we looking at? We're looking at a panel in the middle. We're going to break that up so it's not going to be quite so big. So I think these are just shapes, ideas of shapes. There's no sizes given. So everything is just looking something similar to that. The circles, these circles here, any of the circles, they could be flowers, they could be just a decal edge. It doesn't have to be clean edge circles. Anything goes. So I'm going to make the panel behind that in the mossy meadow again. So this one with a flag on it. I'm going to make that one first. So I have got some smaller pieces in here. That one's not going to be long enough, but that one, we could probably use that. And we could cut that to be that size. Okay, now all I would want to do on there is work out, again with a pencil, I'm going to eyeball tonight. Oh, there's a pencil. So if we've got this kind of border on the outside, if we wanted that size in the middle, we're not going to actually end up with much. But let me just see, we've got enough card, always got enough card. So I'm thinking if I come in that from this side, I'm going to eyeball it about kind of like there, and I'm going to cut that first and I'm going to see how that looks. So she says with a light pencil mark there. Okay, there we go, cut that one off. So we'll work with this first and then we'll see how we're liking it. So that could be the card there. So I've no idea what this measurement is because we've just eyeballed. Oh, now you could not do that again. Sandra, you might eyeball well, but hey, that's 7 centimetres exactly. So the middle point for this one is going to be 3.5. You watched me do that. You knew that there was nothing there. There's no way I could have known that. So we're going to make a little flag at the bottom of this. So I'm going to use the mat here underneath me. I've got a straight line for the edge of the card. And I'm going to put this in the centre there. And I'm going to make that mark that halfway line. So it's just going to come in there like so. Pop a little pencil mark in there, okay, just so you can see it. And then the glasses come down. Here we go. And then we're going to snip this as normal. We're going to make a line from here to there, okay. Now, normally I say don't do snips with a little one. I'd use a big pair of scissors. My big scissors haven't got a point on them. So this is one of those times I'm actually going to use the back of this when we stick it down, but I am actually going to draw a line. And don't be ashamed to do this. Just go from the corner edge to there, like so, and then from the corner edge to there. There's a reason I say, let me just do this. So there's a reason I say if you tend to cut with the snips, if you do more than one cut, you get a jagged edge, okay? So when you're doing this bit, if you try and do that in one, and then you'll get here and you might have a little bit of a jiggle. But if you can just keep along that pencil line now and don't snip to the end, just keep it going and then bring it back to the snip there and make sure it's got right to the centre. So the same this way, from the point all the way up there, okay? You can just bring that up and get to the point and snip it through. Okay, that should fall away. If you haven't quite got it, just tiny little bit again and that will drop away. Now we've got pencil lines left on there, so turn it over, and if you want to make sure that's the pencil line side, put a cross on it, and then that's the side you're going to put your adhesive on. Okay, so that's where we would go with that one. We could go to other shades of green as well, bring other colours in, but I think we're just going to try it like this at the moment. So that's building that layer up nicely. Bring that over there. So the next one is going to be a rectangle. Okay, so I think this rectangle I kind of want to have in the vanilla, and I'm going to do that as a textured layer. So I haven't got, bring the vanilla scraps are there. I won't have a piece that small, I don't think. So let's go in the packet again and see what we can find. If we can, we always use these pieces first, you know. Thrifty Sandra. Try and get some of the larger piece. Unfortunately, this looks like it's nearly all strips, so I don't think we're going to manage it tonight. Can't always get away with it, but hey, we'll have to cut another piece. Let's take a piece out there, and we'll have to go with, I'm going to need this time just to work out roughly what I think it might be. So do we want something about that sort of width again? We could do. This was the leftover from what we've just cut, so I think that would work quite nicely, but what length would we want that to be? So we've got the banner there, so maybe a little bit inside, so about sort of like that. So if I measure at that point there, so that point to the outside edge is 7.5. So if we cut this 7.5 by the width that was, ooh, just over 7, 8.5, 7.5, 8.5. That'll be nice. So bring the cutter back. I'm going to do 7.5 first, and then cut the other way, 8.5. I think it was a little bit over. Let me go and see how that is. If I cut a piece wrong, or you want it to think, actually I could do that a bit bigger, don't worry about wasting it, because it's not, nothing's going to be wasted. You're just going to use that on another project. So there's a vanilla piece. Okay, so we've got 2 in there now. That would work. Move that over when we stick it down. Let's get that in the centre. So we've got just a little overhang like this one's got. Then we're going to make a circle. Now let's move that out of the camera, sorry. And the circle, I have got the deckled circles on the table. I have buried them, but they were here before I started filming. Let's just see if they are still around. That's it there. Nope. I've got what I'm using today, and then I've got them buried it. So deckled circles. We had this one the other day. I was using this. So because we have so many dies in this pack, they are literally, I've got some tape on here still from the last one. I'll put them on my camera stand just up there because they come in handy. Hi Maria, nice to see you. So really all of these, there's 14 dies in here, and they just all contoured in. So I'm going to pop that to the side with the, there's some, that's a bit ironic, isn't it? In the packet here, like I do the other ones, I keep some, if I cut surplus, I keep the spare ones in there, and they've just flown out. So that's kind of telling me that actually one of these might do well. Go back to the sketch. So we've got that one with a little green border. Let's pop it beside. It's a wee bit on the big side. I mean, we can make it that big if we wanted to, but I think I'll go a little bit smaller. So I'll bring these back. I'm going to take one of these smaller ones off here. See what's going to fit in there. These can go back in the packet because they will come in handy somewhere. So that would be perfect, wouldn't it? It's a good size. So let me use that one. I'm going to texture this one here. I've brought over the cutting machine, but I didn't get out the snowflakes. So I'm just going to run and get the snowflakes, and then we can cut this piece out of the piece underneath. I'll do some gutting on there. Just a sec. I hope you couldn't see me off the camera. You might not, just in case you did. Yes, I've been in my pyjamas all day. It's been a working day. It's been a hectic day, actually. I've been trying to multitask in several different directions at once. And yes, when you're doing multitasking and you're trying to talk to someone on a Zoom call, and then you're doing other things, don't try and figure stuff out, because it don't work. So I've got this one. I was wondering whether we wanted to have what's going to look nice with the leaves. We've got this one as well, which is Forever Plaid. This is a nice one as well. So we have got the circles over there, but I think we might, if we use the circles, I think when we put this on, I think we might cover most of it up. So if we've got a piece hiding inside your folder like that, okay, you take that one out. All you're going to see on here is these little lines coming around the side. So I don't really think that's going to work. So we'll ignore that one. We've either got plaid or snowflakes. Snowflakes, we're actually going to put a tree on here somewhere as well. So, in fact, the circle doesn't have to be the circle because they've just given us shapes. Let me just call on my supplies here and see if one of the trees would substitute the circle. Like I said earlier, it's a good way to show you that they're not meant to be exactly as you expect them to be. I've got a tree there, that's in Old Olive. These are some of these a little bit delicate, so we have that one with a mossy meadow. And then we have, oh, yes, that would work. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this again. I think we did do this the other day. I'm going to shorten some of these dies. This is one of the filigree dies, and a couple in there are shorter than the actual die itself. Okay, now I did put the bottom of the die on here before, but then you haven't got this lovely, you haven't got the edge on here. So I think I'm going to just try a different way to show you, and I think I'm going to get rid of those and all of those, pop them back. And we're going to show you how to do this one. This one here is already, they've already been pre-cut, but this one, I'm going to adhere this one down, and then I'm going to cut round follow the line round on here. That will make us a smaller tree, and then we can have the choice to put it on our circle or to put it onto the cream. So let's do this one first with the snowflakes, I think. So pop that in there. If we decide it's a bit big and we want it smaller, then we can. Just make sure that your snow is falling. Hi Jane. You love your trees, Linda. Absolutely. I told you wouldn't be disappointed. They are beautiful. Okay, certainly one of my popular ones this year. So, got the plate there. Oh, lift the big machine over. And turn that round. I'm just going to cover that for a bit. Take all these excess plates off. We don't need any of those. Just the big grey one. And just remind you the embossing folder goes in first. So if you put the loose ends through first, you're going to end up get pressure in there, and the creased edge will snap. Ask me how I know. We've been there before in classes. I've been at one of my retreats, and we had one literally make such a loud bang and crack when a customer's using them. So just be careful with them. Always fold in first. So there we are, all nicely textured. Now, a poll. Are you a snow coming downwards girl, or a snow falling and settling at the bottom? So it's a case of the heavier bit, top or bottom. This way it's coming down, but by the time you look in the sky, and I think that you see the snowflakes up there, and when they land on the ground, there's hardly anything there, okay? Or you can say actually it's a blizzard and it's coming down and it's getting heavier as it lands and it's settling. So there is really no right or wrong, but just pop in there whether you're heavy at the bottom or the top. So that one now textured with snowflakes is going to sit on there. We're going to raise some of these layers up, so don't worry about that yet. So I'm just going to pop some adhesive on here. Grab my tweezers. Oh, there in the pot. So I'm going to hold this like I do normally. And if I'd have thought when I cut these ones, I could have cut them with the adhesive sheet on the back. It does have its benefits, but you know I don't use those as much as I should. So all I'm doing here with the Tombow, just putting some little dots all over there. It's really, really fine. We don't want it to squeeze out the sides. So just go around those edges. Oops. Go along there. Just randomly. Make sure you catch the edges. Middle's not too important. As long as there's just some glue somewhere, it's just going to adhere on there. I hope you can see this. I'm not off camera, am I? No. The secret is to go very, very gently and not squeeze your adhesive too hard. You're heavy at the bottom, heavy at the bottom. Yeah, well, we won't mention that one, will you? Will we? Because I think I'll agree. I think I'm a heavy at the bottom. Yep. So we've got our blizzards, haven't we? So we're having the snow settling. Oh, I'm just sliding this because it's gone a little bit off centre. There we go. And just press on that. If you think you're going to slide it, just turn it over and press on the back. Bone folder is a good way to put pressure on. Okay, like so. And then we've got our image there. Okay, so you can see there's a couple of dies in that pack that are shorter. Oops, get rid of those. We've got the one I'm using here now, and then we've got this little one over here. This one's got the holly on it. Okay, so there's two different choices, and you do this method with it. This is the easiest way, much easier. And we've never met, but maybe one year, one day. My bucket list in 2018, way back, it was to do Alaska, and then to do the American event just once, the conventions, and the Australian convention just once. I've done the American because that fell in 2018, but I haven't done the Australian one yet, the South Pacific. I want to get to South Pacific, so hey. Love the Christmas card from Too Warm, Texas. Oh, you're still hot, are you? Oh, bless. So when does your snow hit then? I know Anne's back to front, aren't you? Back to front for us. You call us back to front, I expect. So we could have the circle on there as well, but then I'd be deciding, well, what colour am I going to do that? I have got an idea. We could cut this. If you wanted to cut the solid green, you could cut that out of the middle there because you're going to cover the hole. Okay. If we wanted to use the back of the paper, which is, I think I'm going to use the better idea, we could use a piece of this coming forward again, or we could turn it over and do from the back. So we've got some mottled. So I'm going to cut one of those anyway. Just need to know approximately where this is going to end up so that I can tape it in position. So you kind of want it to be, it's going to come through centres and centres, centre there, centre there. Okay, so if I slide this one out and leave that roughly in position, we want to take that sellotape back. This is the Scotch tape, by the way. It's not, it's low tack adhesive, it's repositionable. So move those to the side, machine out again, and go back to the cutting this time. So we've got the number 2 plate on the bottom here. If you're new to the machine, it does tell you all your layers on here. You've got number 2, you've got a number 3 underneath, and then you're going to place this on top and that one. So you've got sandwich between 2 3s. And that through. On the floor. And we peel this off again, very gently so we don't rip the paper. Okay, and just stick those up there somewhere, out of the way. It's like summer never ends there. Ah. We know why everybody goes on holiday abroad. Right, that's going back on the packet so I don't lose it. And bring all of this back so you can see the sketch building. So this is that one there, like so. And then this would be our panel covering that. We'll raise that so that can be on there. This one will be the snow at the bottom, the heavy bottom. There we go. So there's the heavy bottom coming on there like so. And then this one, we can either bring this pattern back through that way with the tree off centre like so. And then we can put our greeting. In the sketch, they've got the greeting to the one side. There's a little tab there which you could put greeting. But you can put that tab anywhere. It's not set in stone. So that's looking pretty good. Or we can turn that over and have this. I think that's too dull against the tree. So yeah, I'm going to leave it that way. So we're ready to go. What else was I just thinking? Right, okay, I'll do the sponge there. That's fine. I have Mossy Meadow ink. Okay, so we use that. So let's just start building up from the bottom. Turn those over. And I get this one stuck down. Another reason to make cards. It's too hot to go outside. But you all have, over there, you have the beautiful air conditioning. Okay, when we did the leadership conventions, we had, last year was Vegas, and the one before that was New Orleans. We had blisteringly hot weather for us over here. It was August back home. They had a lovely time as well, actually. We missed some nice weather. But it was really blazingly hot. So we're going to put this one, I think I want to raise that one. Okay, so I've got some pads here somewhere. These ones here, we'll use the big ones. Clocks go back. Yes, Linda, we're here in UK. Our clocks are going back at the weekend. We'll all start going funny times shortly. I don't know everybody else what times. I've not got a chart as to where everybody goes, but just remember that we will change on Saturday night. So if you're watching me now, we fall backwards. Yeah, you could not survive without aircon. I know, I couldn't survive over there without either. Yeah, our clocks will go back Saturday night. So my Sunday one, if your clocks don't change, remember I've gone back an hour. All right, so look what I've done. I've just put the pads on the wrong side. I've got my cross on this side. Never mind. I'm going to rest those on here. This is a quick fix for you guys. I'm going to rest this on here. Try not to stick them on the page. And I'm going to grab a rubber and just take those pencil lines off. Okay. It would have been better to do it as I had talked and not done. But as I said, I talk and then missed it. Wouldn't be much fun for you guys if I just sat here in silence. There we go. And we're going to cover a lot of that up anyway. But I often do this to use the plastic in here under the. Doesn't help they've overlapped. Oh well. Good intentions. I'm pulling it off from all the other dimensionals though. So my trick is using this piece in the middle here. If you've got to stick it down, but use this piece. But of course this was bigger than the area I was using. So I've got, just checking that they're all still tacky, which they are. I've got a backing on there from another one. I'll just take that off. So move those out of the way. This one's going to come into the centre. It's going in the bin on the floor, and I'll pick it up later. Just bring you back down into camera. So this one's going to go on here like so. So kind of even at the top, down the sides, roughly right. Push those corners down, and there we go. And those two there. So that's that one. The heavy at the bottom is going to go across here. I don't do too many layers. I might do one more for the tree. Now I think this needs a little bit of more defining from the edges. So I'm going to take the Mossy Meadow ink pad. Now the piece of sponge I have on the table has got red on it, so that's from the other day. So I'm just going to give this a haircut. So if we just literally cut that off, and that red piece will go in the bin. Okay, and then you use the next piece down. We never do this directly over a project, because when you're going to just stroke this down the edges, it will give a tiny little dusting of a splatter. So you'll get little minute pieces of ink all over your project if you're not careful. So you can see that against a new piece of card, how it's just given it that, hopefully it's going to pick up on it. It's just got that little green edge. Okay, so we go all the way around like that. I don't think I've told you the tale recently. Years ago, when I worked in office and we wore tights at work, I used to put these, all the dirty pieces, all the inky pieces, I used to stuff those in a pair of old tights so they didn't mess up in the washing machine, and then wash them, and then hung the tights out on the line to dry. Just imagine that sight. It looks like a pantomime character hanging on the line. But it's a good giggle. So pop that out of the way. I'll leave that open for a sec because we might be using that for the sentiment. So heavy bottoms, that's going to come down here. I'm going to put that one on flat and then might raise these ones up in a sec. So I want to avoid these two outside edges, don't I? So we're just going to come in this middle section here. Down there. And scribble in the centre. Okay. We'll get them straight. Well, not straight onto the project, but move that there. There we go. So you see how it's coming together? We're just using the shapes from this example in the catalogue. So we said we was going to keep that one, didn't we? And that tree's that way up. So that one could go flat. Is it going to be okay, or do we want some ink around the edges? Let's see. I've got a little scrap of that anywhere. Not sure if I have. No. A random little piece. I'm going to give it a go because I want to just define that edge as well, like we did this one. So we use that same piece of sponge on the ink. It won't take to the gold because it's shiny. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I've been talking too much today. I've been, those of you who know Jackie, we've been plotting this afternoon for an upcoming event. We're working out some costings, but I was doing messages, I was doing measurements, I was doing online stuff and talking to Jackie all at the same time, and it's just, yeah, it got a bit silly when I was trying to figure work out. Jackie was poorly the other day and she's only just getting herself back together and feeling better, so her head and my craziness were quite funny. Neither of us could think straight. So I'm going to put that on there like so, and I'm going to put it in the centre like they have, so I'm kind of sticking to it. You love the technique, Susan. Yeah, I love it. I do use sponge daubers, the Stampin' Up! Sponge daubers. I use those a lot, but a lot of the time I often have a piece of cheap bath sponge. I'm getting down to the end of this one, but just a piece of cheap bath sponge. We used to be able to get them in a pound shop here, 3 for £1, and they just sat in my craft drawer down there, and I just take off a chunk every now and again, and I keep some in my caddy on the table just over the side there. So they're always kind of about, but if I'm doing a planned project, I know I'll get the dauber caddy out as well. So this one I'd like to kind of stick to I don't want to stick it in the centre, I want to put it to one side, but the sentiment was this side. We'll have the sentiment going the other way, and this is going to be raised again. Okay, so I'm just going to take some of the large ones here at the bottom, or yeah, put one there. I'll put one part way up. That might be enough actually. Put them out of the way. Peel the backs off, and then I tap my finger on it, and that easy way to pick it up. So that's going to come to one side there. Okay, see how by shortening that tree it made it perfect. If we'd had the full-size trees, one of these, that would have been far too, well, not necessarily, yeah, but it's a bit big for me. That doesn't look right. The smaller one's better. So that's that one. Now I might do a little bit of cheating now on the sentiment, because remember I showed you the packets at the beginning. Buried under here we have these ones. Now I like black and white, but when I'm getting the heat tool out and the embossing powder tray, caddy, and everything else, I tend to like to do several at once. So I've got a few of these all done, so I'm going to take one and show you again how I trim them down. So take them down. I've got my big scissors here. So for little things like this, you can, trying to get this in a trimmer, you're going to find it, ooh, where's it gone? Where's it gone? Yeah. Because we cut these pieces tiny, I'm just going to grab my post-it notes and I'll show you how I use those as an extra handle. So take a normal size post-it note. I always craft with post-it notes. So this is going to try and cut this, and I want to cut this piece off the other side to narrow it. So you can't get that, and your fingers just get in the way. If you stick this onto the coloured piece of your post-it note, or just the sticky end, sorry, of your post-it note, you've then got another handle, and you can use this freely to move it about. Okay, so I'm just going to eyeball this along the side here. I can see that I'm not going to chop the top of the letters off, and then I'm just going to make sure that here, this piece and this piece are the same distance away on that metal piece. So just get those straight and then chop. That way you've got a nice straight line, top and bottom, and then you can peel it off. Sometimes you'll end up cutting part of this, doesn't matter, just peel it off the back. I would say to peel it off as well if you get on here, because if you put it on the post-it note, this can then lift off the post-it note. Again, ask me how, I know, because I've done it. So, like I like to say, I make the mistakes so you guys don't have to. So here's my piece here ready to go. If I put it against the pale background, you'll be able to see it better. So I'm going to snip this up. I'm going to cut to close to the end of the letters, snip that off and pop that in the bin. Where's the DSP from? Love the colours. Linda, this is the Season of Green and Gold, I believe is the title. I will just grab the packet. Yes, Season of Green and Gold. Okay, that's the packet in there. I've got the item code here for those online that want to see. It's 164324. It is an online exclusive, so you won't find it in the catalogues. So don't go looking in there, but you'll find it online. If you want to order some, Linda, just let me know, because I'll have an order go through. I've just got one on its way, but I will put another order before the end of the month. Okay, so this is our greeting, May Your Dreams Be Merry. They've got just a bar on there. It's just an idea, and you can do what you like. You could put that on there like so, as a long sentiment. In fact, now I've cut it, I think that might look nice, actually. What should we do? But I would have left more on the ends. I was cut it, prepared to snip it up. But let me see what I've got in here. I might do this bit again. That piece has got a little bit longer ends. There we go, we'll use that one. I've shown you how to cut them down, and now I'm going to use this one because it's got a bigger piece on the ends. So I'm going to flag the ends. It's just a case of, I might cut this one. If I cut this one parallel with the edge of the card and then flag this end coming in, or we could have that way and flag that end. I think that's going to look better. So I'll flag this end here, snip the end there. There you go, pick you up later. And then this piece, I'm just going to do the snips like we did earlier with the banner. But the little pieces, I don't draw the lines. So just snip that in the middle. Okay, make sure it's cut right to the tip. And then cut from the point into the middle piece where you've just snipped. Okay, and just the corner into the middle, like so. And they will fall away. So then we grab the tweezers, okay, and then we're going to put that to the edge of the card and that one on here. Now the difficulty doing it this way, or the difference doing it this way, is the fact that this has been raised again and this is raised. So if I put that on the top there, this end piece is sitting 2 decks up. Okay, so you'd need to put a little one on here and a little one on there just to support that. So I will grab those small dimensionals, move that along just a sec. So we're going to take that one and put that right to the very end, right on the end there. And then the next one, I just want to judge how far in I want this. So I really want it sort of anywhere along there, really, by the B, Be Merry. So I'll put that one about there. Okay, that's already got the backing removed. And then the rest of it that's going to sit over the tree is going to be on the same level. So it just wants to be a little bit of Tombow on there. That just builds up your layers. So you've got everything going nice and straight, horizontal all the way across there. So this is on the edge of my card. How far up you want to put it is up to you. So one there, and one there. You know what, that should really have had 2, shouldn't it? Because it's got 2 razors on there. That's got the backing removed already, so I'm just going to put a second one on there. There we go. And then bring that down. The reason I've done that is because we've got one level here and we've got one level there. So this end piece on its own needs two to keep it nice and flat going across. So I hope that makes sense. So there's our sketch. So I'll keep referring to that one. And then in here I have my gems. Oops. Then in here, these are the gold textured adhesive back gems. These go with this collection as well. So these will be online and exclusive as well. So we have different sizes in here. We don't have to just use any particular size. I do like the smaller ones all the time. So we could just literally put some random ones on there. And because the background is really busy, I think I'm going to put one on the top of the tree. And then I'm just going to put a couple random ones. Just something like that, I think. Don't want too much sparkle on there. But there's our sketch. So we've done from this card. So you can see the likeness there. Oh, bless you, Linda. Just text me if you need anything. I got a feeling the red and green was in the clearance rack. I got a feeling that's gone. But I'll see if I've got any extra ones here. And you're back. You completely froze. I'm sorry. Anyway, we got that one sorted. I'll make a note of that when I come off air. So this is that sketch on here. We're just going to put something in the inside because we do like to do our liners. So, oops. So I cut this down to, by 9, 13.5 by 9 is a good one for me. So 13.5 by 9. And just see how that's going to sit in the centre there. And then we want a little scrap of the Designer Series paper. We must have some bits somewhere. There we go. So this is the one that we used. So I grabbed a little cutter. So I want a piece that's 9 centimetres wide. So there. Go back on the paper stand. So I only want a little piece, whatever depth you want to go down here, or we could go this way on actually. I'm going to do the bottom. I'm going to do it about 1 inch or so, just any level. It doesn't matter. It's about 1.5, I think, there. Keep just as long as it's straight, and stick that one on the bottom. Just adhesive on here, around the edges, not too much so it doesn't squeeze out the edge. I'm going to pop that on the back of the card. I've not got the card down yet, just there. There's a reason I've not stuck it first, because I've got a little cunning plan in my head. So then I go to my scraps. These little twiddly bits in here, you see me with my scraps, I love them. They do get used up. So this is all the offcut pieces. Now I'm looking for a really narrow piece if I can. That's a nice narrow piece, that would do. Okay, I'm just going to do a little just piece here just to finish it off. I like to bridge the gap, I call it. You've got cream bleeding into cream, but if I stick that on there, it's just going to make that look like it's supposed to be there. I don't go right up to the edge straight away, just hang it off the end, and then you can trim it level with the card afterwards, which is the reason I didn't stick it down. So that just along there. So bridge that gap so it's half on and half off. Make sure it's the same that end. If in doubt, use your board, your mat, your grid paper, whatever, just to make sure it looks nice and straight going across the lines, which I think it does. It's just a little bit up that end. Bring it down a bit. Okay, so that's over there. And then here, you'll just turn that over and snip that end off. Like so. It's gone somewhere. And then this is ready to go back on the inside of a card. Just makes it a little bit more finished, polished inside as well. Okay, a little bit in the middle. And there we go. Get that nicely in the middle. There we go. So if you wanted a greeting in there, you could put something else on the inside, or you can just leave it flat just for you to write your message in, because your greeting's already done on the front. So it's entirely up to you what you'd like to do. So that was my sketch tonight. How did you like that one? What have we got? Yeah. Oh, bless you. You're all right. You're fine. It's good. Anyway, I think that's it for now. So if your demos and you're looking for it, you want to look on the online exclusives, and that will be for the gems as well. It's the whole collection is on there. There's a whole suite that you can purchase if you want, or you can purchase the individual pieces, okay, that go with that. So let me bring my camera back onto me. Very nice papers. They are beautiful, Marilyn. You can make with these next time you're over. We haven't decided on your date yet, have you? You got my response last night. I'm just going to bring you back to me. There we go. Settings. What's going on with the settings? Something just flashed up. Anyway, I'm here. Yeah, so Marilyn, just fix your date, and then I'll make sure I've got enough in stock when you and your crowd are coming over. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. It's a really nice, sweet little card. You know me, I like doing nice little things. So I didn't get envelopes out tonight, so we will leave the envelopes. But that's for tonight. Now, the sketches, if I just bring you back again, actually, just go down to the table again. So on here, you've got a whole page of those sketches. So it's page 16 in that mini catalogue. Okay, and don't forget, you can use these ones in the main catalogue and the main catalogue ones in the Christmas papers. It's you know, either combination, you can use either way. And what I like this year for Christmas, they've actually done tags. They've got tag card all the way along. So you've got some tag shapes in there. Now, the tags that I had just here, this one, got something stuck to my finger now. This one here, it's a bundle, but you could buy just the all of them. You can buy just the sentiment or just the dies. This comes as a bundle, so you get your 10% off. The greetings actually come with these dies as your bundle. So it's quite nice to have this. This is my favourite shape in here. It's a good standalone shape to use as tags on its own. You can hinge them, so you can cut two together and then hinge across. I think I have shown you that one not too long back on the live, so you can use those ones. But there's also, all of these have a little hole in them. So no matter what the size of the gift is or what you want to put on it, you've got holes that will die cut with each of these. Okay, so like for that shape at the front here, we could nearly have used that one. We could have had that as the panel in the middle and turned it upside down. So inverted it. You could have used it that way on, but it's not really wide enough for what I wanted tonight. But there's, yeah, different size shapes tags, but they're really nice. Okay, so that's that other set that goes with the greetings of the season. Love using sketches, need to have a go. Absolutely. So have we, oh, well, I don't know when, I need to check my diary, Linda. I know I'm seeing you soon. Seeing you on Wednesday next week, aren't I, at another event. I'm guesting elsewhere, aren't I? So I'll see you then. In fact, we're going to be using those papers next week, Linda, in Great Yarmouth. So anyway, thanks for joining me tonight. We've done nearly up to the hour tonight. Wednesdays tend to be that little bit longer than the Sundays. So take care, and I will see you all again on Sunday. If there's any requests, do shout. And don't forget, the sign-up join offer for being a demonstrator is fantastic still. It's running the whole of this month, coming to an end on Thursday, 31st. It's £160 worth of your shopping list for £99. And also just check out the other online exclusives, the clearance rack, etc. that's going on. And the kits are all up to 30% off, even the brand new ones. So I think it's the older kits tend to have the bigger discounts. So Linda, your order is on its way. That should be here by the end of this week. So be able to bring that next week. So all your kits. So big savings to be had. Just give me a shout if you need any help, and I will do my best to help you. So I will say cheerio. Don't forget the clock's going back for me on Saturday night in the UK. So adjust your times accordingly for the Sundays and the Wednesdays. All right, if you're overseas.